Okay, so we have our Space Invaders game. I've supplied you the code, and we talked about our first code with arrays right here. And I've pasted it into open processing, and it works pretty good. It's got 3 enemies by default, but let's see what we can do with it. Okay, so first off, there's some of the code that I did, and I just did to demonstrate how things work. So for example, I add 3 enemies, and I just wanted to show you how we can add enemies, and we could actually add more, right? I could just keep going, and it will have more enemies. And actually, it's giving me an error because I copied and pasted the same variable name, so I could just change that. It doesn't have to be a number, but if I do that, I'll have more enemies, and we'll see that. We'll go there. We can change the speed of individual enemies, and we'll learn more about how the array works. But I'm going to erase it and only have 1 enemy, because at the start of the game, I only want 1 enemy. So there we go. Now, what I want to do is I want to add a level and a score, so that I can make the game get harder as we go. So let's go let score equals 0, let level equals 1, and then let's make a pause too, because in between the levels we want to pause. So we're going to start off pause, so I'm going to say it's true. And then let's have a message for when we're paused. Let pause message. And then what's it at the beginning? At the beginning is welcome to Space Invaders. Press space to start. Okay, so that's the initial message. So let's go to our draw. Now, if you see here, we have a background. That clears it. We're going to leave that. But everything else is going to be if we're not paused. So then when I do that, I open the brackets, and you see how it closes the brackets? I actually want to take that closing brackets, and everything else in Paint is going to be in that, because all this stuff only happens when we're not paused. And I can highlight to see I made sure the bracket right. This is the end of pause, right? And so when I highlight it, it's going to highlight that. So all that stuff happens when we're not paused. And now I'm going to go say if we are paused. So this stuff will happen if we are paused. Right? So what do we want to do for pause? Basically, we want to put the pause message on the screen. We want to say, welcome to the game. So I'm going to take this text right here, and go like this. I need a fill. So I want it to be white. So white is all the colors. 255 red, 255 green, 255 blue. So this should say, we're not actually going to have a message. It's going to be whatever the pause message is. So pause message. Right? I'm going to put it at 0, and I'm going to put it down a little bit, so 40. Let's see what it looks like. I had an error here. I need a comma right there. 1 0 should do. Okay, press space to start. Now, notice that space doesn't actually start the game, and the reason why is because no one is forcing pause to be false. So let's go down here and say when in key pressed, when we hit space, we fire the laser, but we also pause equals false. Okay, so whenever you fire the laser, we're going to unpause. Working good. Okay, and we only have 1 enemy as it is. So now let's get the score and level on the screen. Now, in our paint, in our draw, we say arrow keys to space and shoot. We probably don't need that anymore. Let's just say level, and we put quotes beside it, level. So, okay, so this is the variable level, and this is just text. So, you know, I could say this is not a variable. I could say your level is. Okay, so just so you know that this is not a variable. This is just me putting some words on the screen next to the variable. And then let's go here. score is. Okay, so that's displays the score, and that displays it. Now let's do it sideways. So this is going to be maybe the X, we'll say 50, and this will be maybe 90. And we probably don't need to be as verbose. Score. Okay, and so you see here, I needed more space in the level, so let's go. This is the X. Let's go 110. Okay, there we go, looking good. Level score. Okay, now we do want, when the laser hits a red thing, we want the score to go up, right? So let's go back here. See, when the laser hits, we want the score to go up. So let's say score equals score plus 1. And if you notice here, when we reset the enemy, we put it off screen. And we actually do the same thing with the laser. But one of the funny things is you'll find that the laser will keep hitting the enemy because they both kind of get to the same place. Reset puts it at the width, and so does laser. So I noticed that sometimes the score, maybe not. Yeah, see, the score is 6, score is 7. It'll sometimes double, and that's because they both go over here and it hits it again. So actually, let's move the laser very far, like width plus 1000. We basically just want to remove the laser from the screen. So I want it far away so that I bring it back when I hit the space button, but I don't want to see it. And that's what that line does. And so now we probably won't have any of the double scoring. Yeah, see. Okay, so we got it. Now, we need something to check the level. Okay, so when we do it, I'm at level 5, I probably want to go to at score 5, I probably want to go to level 2. So let's say every time I kill an enemy, right, the enemy reset gets called. So right here, let's check the level. Check level. Now this is a function I'm making. Why do we do functions? Well, I could have a whole bunch of code here to say, you know, if score is 5, then the level's 2. If the score is 10, then the level's 3. If the score is 15, then the level's 4. I could put all that code right here, right? I could go if, you know, score is equal to, right? But it makes my code ugly. So instead, sometimes I want to just keep things a little bit more sane and say check the level. And so now I can go to the bottom and make a function called, we'll take this, and we'll make a function called check level. Okay, so anytime you think you're gonna write a bunch of code, it might be better as a function to just move it out of the way, and then we can just call it by saying check level. So now I want to say if the score is 3, then let's make level equal 2. Okay, and we'll make the score 4. The reason why we do that, okay, is this will happen again and again and again. So we might want to just say, okay, you're in level 2 now, and we'll force the score to 4. So let's do that. Let's just see if this, awesome. Okay, and so you see here, the level went up. Okay, and now we can go here and we can go level score is, let's say score 6. And you can do the levels at yours. You might want it like at 10 or 20, but I want to test it. So level 3, and then we'll say score 7. Okay, so I've got 2 levels, level 2, level 3, and the initial level. They're all by score, and I might want to pause it in between. Pause equals true, pause message equals welcome to level 2. Okay, sometimes you want to do that, especially if there's like a boss or something that you want the user to prepare for, or just to show that you have control of your game. So now Okay, good. So I've got pausing and levels. And now what I want to show you is now that I have this array here, right? Before, see what we're trying to learn about and play with is this array right here. We'll do a lot of games with arrays. This is an array of enemies. And right now it kind of works like a regular variable. It's not really that different. But what's cool about it is using this code right here, this push code, we can add new things to it. So let's go to level 2 and we'll create a few more enemies. We'll say let enemy equal 1, push enemy 1, and then we just make a couple more. Now I can't say let again, okay? I have to get rid of the let. So we're just gonna go like this, and we're gonna copy, paste, paste, paste. So you see what this is gonna do is add 1 enemy, add 2 enemies, add 3 enemies, and add 4th enemies. They all have the same name, okay? The reason why they all have the same name is because they're all gonna end up in the array. They're all gonna end up in a list of enemies. So once we hit level 2, we actually have we should have 5 enemies on the screen, the original enemy plus these ones. Okay, so let's go. Okay, and see, and it gets a lot harder. Now, there are some things I can do to this. I'll probably leave it for now. Maybe we'll learn how to make a boss. We'll learn how to change the enemies. You can add some images, but this is a start.